Smells like paint and agitated dust. Renovations, I suppose. That elevator over there goes to the Supreme Arbiter's old office. I hope the technicians have kept it in working order. I believe what we need is on that terminal. I'll see if I can find my way in. The terminal's locked, which is no surprise. See if you can find some method to bypass its passcode. Did you hear that? I think something may have unlocked. I think this may unlock the terminal, but the toggle mechanism appears compromised. I shall hold it. You attempt to gain access to the machine. You must finish reading through that terminal. The elevator's been summoned from below.
Consul Thoreau, I'm sure you're surprised to be receiving this message, and thus I can assume you already know my intent. Even considering aligning myself against the Sovereign is like sticking my hand in boiling oil. Yet my dead charges spur me forward. 10 scores of Arcadia's finest, at least 10 scores, died in defense of Golden Ridge. And does the region lie in our control? No. We fled like sprats, all at Varric's behest. I shall lower myself to work with you, Consul. I will help you uphold your plan to... Hold... What in blazes? How long have you been standing there? What did you hear?
I cannot believe what I heard. I cannot. Yes, I'm fine, because I think I understand what was actually happening. My mentor hated the Consul and was deeply devoted to the Sovereign. She'd never speak thus, unless she was trying to lure the Consul into a trap.
That seems like a lot of work to go through just to flatten someone's head with one of those giant hammers.
What I'm proposing is eminently plausible. It may be beyond you to see her machinations, but it's obvious to me that this was merely an intricate play. It's all that makes sense. Don't twist in me. Just because the situation looks dire doesn't mean... Wait, do you hear that?
Arbiter Rao, I finally got you. Submit quietly to the Protectorate's justice for your manifold transgressions.
Are you insane? Who are you? And on whose authority do you claim to judge me?
My name is Junior Arbiter Mayhall, and I operate on Arbiter Mandate, as you did once. Now, no questions. This is already going to be difficult enough.
This is not the time for your deranged jests.
Well, that's ridiculous. My interest in Arbiter Rao is purely professional.
Enough. This has been an unpleasant day and my patience is gone. Your accusations are baseless and accosting a higher-ranked arbiter is grounds for arbitration.
They're far from baseless. You stand accused of abandoning your post, of infiltrating Protectorate facilities with opaque aims, and of hampering the Protectorate war effort. There's no discussion to be had with criminals. I needed to see firsthand that Arbiter Rao had abandoned his station. He has, and must meet my judgment.
These accusations of yours are slander. If you believe false bravado shall save you from my wrath, you're sorely mistaken. That question would have been easier prior to our traveling together. I've spared others at your behest, after all. I shall speak plainly, I would rather spare her, as her devotion to justice seems to match my own. But duty dictates I answer her accusations earnestly. As I have not done wrong, her accusations are slander, and therefore must be punished. Hardly. She could not remind me of myself, for were I in her place, I would know better than to accost my superiors. I have been taught to uphold justice by any means necessary. The junior arbiter is wrongfully accusing me, which stands in the way of my upholding justice. Her accusations are grave enough to be answered with violence. But I understand why she is making them, and her perspective, though skewed, should not merit death. I don't like thinking thus. It toes the line of traitorism. But the alternative is the judgment of one I believe to be innocent. Such an action cannot transpire.
What is this insanity? I would never imagine an arbiter balking from their chosen course. I had hoped Arbiter Rao would come to his senses, but obviously to no avail. I may not wish to judge him. I may not understand what has come over him. It is of no consequence. His crimes against the Protectorate are all that matters.
He was simply doing his duty, just as you or I must every day. Killing him would have been wrong, even though attempting to arrest me was a criminal act.
That's even worse than I thought. You chose not to do your duty, and expect telling me so would soften my decision to judge you?
The Supreme Arbiter taught me to follow my own sense of justice, and I have. Use your mind. Think about what I did, what you intend to do. Is this moral? Is this right?
What of it? Someone has to stop him.
Ironic. You came here to judge me for much the same reason I have, as you so claim, deserted. I chose to investigate the Supreme Arbiter's death on my own. You chose to investigate my departure on your own. You seek to judge me for the very crime you are guilty of.
That's impossible. I refuse to believe we both could be guilty if we were simply following what we were taught. There's no protocol for following one's heart in the Protectorate. I still do not know what to do, but perhaps that is the point. Consider my hand stayed. I can see that judging Tristan would only rob the Protectorate of another of its servants. It seems I must reflect on this matter.
It would appear we're in agreement. Neither of us shall raise a hand against the other. I'm pleased.
Never known an arbiter to lose their taste for blood. That's disappointing.
So, what course of action do we take now?
I shall have a better idea of wisdom to impart once I've gotten to the bottom of everything. I fear you're not the only one reeling, Junior Arbiter.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're still confused once everything calms, perhaps you might seek me out. Together, I wonder if things might not seem so strange.
The dilemmas facing us are likely far more than two arbiters can decipher alone, unfortunately. But I suppose I'll keep that in mind. Glory to the Protectorate, Junior Arbiter.
Right. Glory to the Protectorate.
I'm pleased we were able to resolve that altercation peaceably. Robbing Arcadia of an enthusiastic recruit would have given me little joy.
You say that, but I've seen the way you smile when you kill. Oh, sorry, dispense justice. I'd say she got lucky. Or you're turning soft.
You know, I'd even venture to say she reminded me just a little of myself as a lad. All this excitement did not make me forget the confession on the Supreme Arbiter's terminal. I have to bring it to Virgil. Together, we can discover exactly what transpired. Have you lived all your life within the Protectorate? No. What do you know about what makes an Arbiter? I refuse to question the Supreme Arbiter, just as I refuse to cast every belief I hold dear into the mud. Push me no more. Virgil will know what to make of this. Together we'll figure out what to do. I'll message him when we return to the ship. Hopefully he shall respond. Quickly.
Commander, I have news. I finally heard back from Virgil. His message was suitably vague. I suspect he fears the Consul's eyes scanning his message, but I believe it to refer to the Arbiter training facility located on Paradise Island. Parts of the location can only be accessed by Arbiters. He likely did so to avoid the Consul's spies. There's a certain hominess to it, inasmuch as we have any particular home. Bringing our findings to Virgil will hopefully allow us to deduce something from all that we found. I only hope it dispels some of the muddiness we've encountered so far. Further complications would be most disagreeable. It's silent as a tomb. I hope we aren't too late. If Virgil's not about, he's like to be in the training grounds depths. There's a lift to take us lower, located behind the door next to those stairs.
Come up.
Virgil! Oh, thank the architect I found you intact. We visited the Supreme Arbiter's office in Central Control and found something impossible.
Impossible? Why is it impossible? So that you may claim ignorance as to the truth of what you've uncovered? Fine. If you're still so thick-skulled, Tristan, then I can see I've no choice but to confess. Hold. Do you hear movement?
Attention, Arbiter Virgil Montag. Under the jurisdiction of the Consul, we stand to bring you low. Do not resist.
Damnation! I knew the Sentinels were looking for me, but I did not expect they would come to this place. We have no choice but to fight. I can operate our turrets from this location, but you must engage the Sentinels head-on to prevent our being overwhelmed. Go now!
Arbiter Montag, lay down your arms. Surrender and die.
I sense conflict.
Those fools were but an expeditionary force. I've no doubt the bulk of their number remains on the surface. I shall take an alternate path to prepare a surprise for our would-be assailants. Then I shall flank them as you engage them.
Hold! You were beginning to say something before we were ambushed. I would care to hear it.
Ike, we cannot have this conversation until we are safe. Engage those on the surface and I shall join you. Go now.
Enemy in evisceration.
That.
Your judgment has found you!
Replenishing my fire.
Virgil, enough! Our being at odds with the Consul is one thing, but that was a small army! What have you done?
You already know whether you're willing to admit it or not. Do you sincerely have a need for me to spell it out before you'll face the truth? Very well then. Tristan, you stand before the murderer of the Supreme Arbiter.
I don't believe this. The Consul must have captured you and sent you to mental refreshment. It's the only...
Open your eyes, Rao. Those Sentinels were here with due cause. The elimination of a murderer. The Supreme Arbiter was planning to send a message in her final moments, pledging allegiance to the Consul. Who do you think bore witness to those final moments? I did what I thought was just.
No. You lied to me?
I had to. I knew that if you learned what had transpired, why I did what I did, it would destroy you.
Would it? Or were you just trying to save yourself from my wrath?
With the demands this war has made on us all, I'd not seen our mentor for some time. My visit was meant to be a surprise. Unfortunately, it was. I overheard her decision to align herself with the Consul before she realized I was there. This admission, I had no choice but to act.
But there was a choice. Why didn't you come to me? Together we could have come up with something. Some other course of action.
Because I didn't want you to know. I never wanted you to learn the truth because I feared you'd lose your faith. No. Sentinel Peralt's remarks were the first I'd heard of any secret room. I feared what you might learn there, so I scrambled to find an agent who might locate the room before you. I only had one contact who I knew may be able to do the job. Unfortunately, it seems you found him before he could complete his task. Would that he had. I had no wish to cause his death through my impetuousness. That is news to me. A junior arbiter judging Tristan. I can't imagine you let that stand.
Killing one of Arcadia's future arbiters over a singular breach of rank would have been most tragic, but this is not the matter we're here to discuss.
How dare you! I would have rather done anything else. But the explicit reason that I had to act was out of my loyalty. The Supreme Arbiter did more than mentor us. She all but raised us as her own. There is not a step we took that she did not watch. A fact we know that she did not teach. And I killed her. As a traitor. Damn you. Damn you 1,000 times. How can I not bear remorse for the slaying of one I considered my own kin? No matter what I do, I find myself reliving that moment whenever I close my eyes. Her sin was unforgivable to the Protectorate, but I... The Supreme Arbiter taught me that the Protectorate is the only family any of us would ever need. Yet, I have found little comfort within it since her passing.
I cannot believe what I am hearing. You know that I have to judge you. There's no other choice available to me. You're right. You're right. I can't let emotion get the better of me. I find myself torn. Though I still believe wholeheartedly in Protectorate law, you and I have certainly encountered other dubious situations. You taught me to judge based on merits. Together we spared some and executed others. But what I have learned with you shall be most difficult to apply here. Virgil is my sworn brother, and he acted under duress. But killing the Supreme Arbiter is unforgivable. Yes, but it is beyond the jurisdiction of even those such as us to mete out such a judgment. It should have been elevated to higher channels.
And how would the Consul have reacted to an official accusation of treason by an inferior, no less? You know they care not for evidence.
But the Supreme Arbiter herself taught us exactly that. That evidence proves the crime. Surely she wouldn't have been so hypocritical as to deny that?
People change when faced with their own death. I would expect you'd learned that by now.
That should be true, but did he not interpret it incorrectly? I can't be certain. The law is clear on this. It is explicitly illegal for an inferior to execute their superior. The issue must be accelerated to a higher authority. But is addressing traitorism not the utmost priority of any arbiter? Is not the betrayal of everything we stand for more significant than a breach of protocol? The Supreme Arbiter taught us that conscience has no bearing in our role. But I suppose she has given me much reason to question her teachings. I cannot bring myself to execute my sworn brother. It could be better if I did not. I cannot be sure this path does not fly in the face of all I believe, or speak to some weakness at the depths of my being. I know not what to make of the Supreme Arbiter's betrayal. I'll have to ruminate on it for some time. But that aside, I forgive you, Virgil. You are spared.
Oh, joy. They talked it out. And here I was all ready to watch two arbiters violently dismember each other.
Would that I could forgive myself. I shall have to live with what I have done in the name of the Protectorate.
Virgil, you should take comfort in doing what was right. The Supreme Arbiter was a traitor. I believe her execution was just. And you should as well.
Just in the eyes of the Protectorate. But we've forever lost our mentor, our friend, And, I might add, if the Protectorate had its way, you or I would presently lie dead as well. How can I see the morality in a system that demands brothers, guardians, friends kill one another in its name?
Brutality is one thing, but justice should not be brutal. It should be righteous. The way Virgil put it... I don't know. I need to think.
1,000 words of thanks for meeting me here, Tristan. I know not what the future holds for us, but for the time being I must make myself scarce. Though, before I go, a parting gift. May Tristan make use of it better than I.
Go with the Sovereign's blessing, brother. And be careful. If you survive today only to be brought low by an agent of the Consul at a later point, I shall be most annoyed. Commander, this has all been draining. I need time to process what we've learned today. What I've done. Later, I hope we might discuss it. Commander, I've had some time to process what transpired with Virgil. Despite the manner of what Virgil has done, I cannot help but be glad I did not need to slay him. I can only hope he does not run afoul of further Sentinels. But allowing him to live was betraying the Protectorate, wasn't it? I find myself more torn than ever before, and yet it does not feel like a misdeed. You're right. Virgil was trapped between Protectorate laws, and only leniency could free him. But the fact that such a circumstance could happen at all. Having good intentions does not spare you. Doing what you think is right does not spare you. This cannot be justice. Yet what can I do? More than 100 years of Protectorate society cannot be changed by a lone body. Can it? But how? I see. I must follow my own path, my own sense of right and wrong. I can only hope it has been cultivated properly. I shall remain with the Protectorate, interpreting its laws through a moral instead of a punitive lens. Innocent until proven guilty is a novel concept, but it is worth a try. Words are not worth the air propelling them. Let me make good on them first. Then you may be impressed. When we began traveling together, I was not sure what to make of you. But your input throughout our time together has been invaluable. I deeply appreciate your hand in this investigation, Commander, and in entertaining my incertitude. Let us move forth to free Arcadia from injustice.